Shit. What the fuck is up, everybody in YouTube land? The world of YouTube. I know my videos have been really fucking spaced apart really far, but I don't care. Yeah, I wanted to do a... first, I'm going to be doing a couple of videos based off of some of the suggestions and some of the things that people wanted me to talk about. So I'm going to motherfucking do that. But first I wanted to do another video about drugs, but then Napalm Tube did a video about drugs, and he covered almost everything, but I'm still going to fucking talk about it. First of all, Napalm Tube, if you're not subscribed to this man, subscribe to this man. He's not going to ever get me to be an anarchist, but besides that, he's usually right on the fucking ball, and he's right there again in his new video, Drugs, A War on Freedom. Fucking subscribe to this man, fucking listen to this man. He knows what he's fucking talking about. So, you know, he's talking about one of the things that I wish was talked about more, which was these private prisons, which is something that it surprises me that so many people don't know about. There are companies, most new prisons built nowadays are built by private companies like Whack and Hut. They changed their name. Some of you know who I'm talking about. And similar companies like that. And they build these prisons. These are private companies. These are not run by the state. You know, so if the state of Florida builds a new prison and Whack and Hut builds a prison, the state of Florida doesn't run the prison, Whack and Hut runs the prison. These are privately hired officers running the prison, and these people are paid like $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000 a prisoner per year for everybody in their prison. And that is one of the things that I think most people, most people should fucking see that, and it should freak them out. I mean, literally, there are companies in the United States whose stock goes up when more people are put into the prison. If that is not the ultimate sign that our society is fucked, I really don't know what it is. I was fucking listening to NPR, and they were talking about, this was like a week ago or a week or two ago, and they've had a recent increase in violence in Mexico. The drug gangs have always been pretty violent in Mexico, but recently it's gotten a lot worse, to the point that it's coming to the point where the Mexican drug gangs are more powerful than the Mexican government and the Mexican military. And there's a lot of talk about the military maybe not necessarily actually being involved directly in killing people, but allowing the drug gangs to murder people. I mean, there's people showing up, you know, people being found with their heads chopped off and shit, you know, things like that. Recently, a dude walked into a drug rehab clinic and shot like 6 people, trying to get at somebody that wasn't even there, and you know, shit like that. Kids getting killed, whatever. So I went home that same night. I turned on CNN, and they were talking about it too. And the drug czar, who I am not aware of the dude's name, I should probably look it up. Give me 1 second. Motherfucking drug czar. Office of National Drug Control Policy. I love that. I love how the Office of National Drug Control Policy is the first website that shows up when you put in drug czar. What's the dude's name? About. Come on, what's the dude's name, you cocksuckers? That blows my mind. I had no idea this would be the first website that comes up. They take pride in that. That's awesome. Wow. Literally. Go to Yahoo, type in drug czar. I put in US drug czar, and that is the first website that comes up. The official website for the Office of National Drug Control Policy. Holy shit. That's awesome. Oh, man. Come on, computer. Quit being lame. Whatever, I'll get to his name in a minute. The drug czar had a quote, something along the lines of, ending the drug war is not consistent with the community values of the American people. And my bullshit detector went off right fucking there. I'm like, whoa, stop the fucking conversation. What are you talking about? The community values of the American people. What people and whose community? Whose fucking community? Your community, you rich piece of shit? You rich white piece of shit? Fuck you. Fuck your community. Are you talking about rich fucking, communities with $1 million houses and fucking suburbs in Connecticut or some shit? Is this the community values where they don't have to get illegal drugs? They can get, all the women take a bunch of Percocet and Vicodin, and the men drink, vodka and Jack Daniels and shit and martinis on their lunch breaks. Is that the community values we're fucking talking about here? How about the community values of people? How about the fucking community values of people, who live places where they, they might have to be worried about letting their children go out and play because they might get fucking shot with a stray bullet. John P. Walters, Director Walters, coordinates all aspects of the federal drug control policy. So that was from John Walters. Anyway, how about the community values of people in the inner city that might have to be concerned about getting hit by stray bullets from drug gangs? And some of you might be like, well, what does that have to do with anything? The drug gangs are there because of the drugs. And no. You got the shit all backwards. The drug gangs are not there because of drugs. The drug gangs are there because of drug money. Why is drug money in a position to be collected by criminals? Because the drugs are illegal. That should be the number one fucking reason for people to get behind legalization of drugs. People like me, I do not advocate drug legalization because I think drugs are good for you. I do not advocate drug legalization because I think children should wake up and shoot heroin. Alright? That is not why I advocate drug legalization. Now, if you ask people like Mr. John Walters why people advocate drug legalization, that's what he's going to tell you. But nobody advocates drug legalization for that reason. I advocate drug legalization because, if legalized, it can be controlled and regulated by the federal government to keep drugs out of the hands of children and to make sure that addicts, while they are still addicted, receive clean, non-tampered drugs, and that they receive treatment and not incarceration so that these people can get actual help. I mean, I've talked about this before, but this is just something that should really make people fucking think real hard, alright? High school kid, alright? It's easier for me, if I wanted to, it would be easier for me right now to go get a bag of pot than it would be for me to go get a 6-pack of beer. That's just the fucking way it is. Why is that? Because the alcohol is regulated. It is regulated, it is sold legally, and in that way it is kept mostly out of the hands of young people. It at least makes it a whole lot more difficult for them to get it. I can get any fucking drug I want. I might have to make some phone calls, but if I put my mind to it, I could get the fucking drugs. Any drug I wanted to. It would probably be harder for me to get the alcohol than it would be for me to get the drugs. Alright? That right there should be enough for you, okay? Now, if you really care about the children, which Napalm 2 made the good fucking point that, no, these people don't give a fuck about the children, because why are you putting these teenagers, these young men, mostly young men, in prison and ruining the rest of their lives over a little bit of pot or a couple of grams of weed or a bag of heroin? But if you really do care about the children and you don't want drugs sold to your children in the high schools, yes, you can get fucking drugs in the high school. I did it before. you need to legalize the drugs. I know that sounds really fucking counterintuitive. It sounds like the exact opposite of what you'd want to do. But fucking think about it, alright? Where the hell's my shit? My drugs, my legal drugs. Yeah, it's even easier for an underage kid to get fucking pot than to get cigarettes. I ain't gonna buy the motherfucker cigarettes. I lost my fucking train of thought. I know it sounds really fucking counterintuitive, but you have to think about it this way. Look at the facts, alright? Since drugs have become illegal in the beginning of this century, or this last century, I suppose, and gotten more and more stringent control ever since, the rate of addiction is exactly the same. There has been no decrease. And if anything, more people are doing the drugs, because obviously there's an increase in population. They weren't even able to keep drug use at the same numbers. It's continued to grow consistently with the population. It has stayed the same. And this is addiction across the map. Whoops. This is not addiction just on legal drugs. This is addiction across the map. Which to me shows the true failing of the anti-drug movement now. Alright? I don't have any problem with people telling people not to do drugs. Because you shouldn't. Alright? Even teenagers probably shouldn't even smoke pot. Alright? Because most people can't handle that shit. With all the other stress that they got, all the other shit they're doing, it's going to make them less capable of doing their work. Alright? But adults should be able to do whatever they want. Alright? If you want to control Jesus Christ. If you want to control drug use and drug addiction, what you need to focus on is education. Alright? Education. It has to be education that is directed specifically at the demographic you're working with. Alright? You tell a teenager that if he smokes cigarettes that he's going to get cancer when he's 80. He's not going to give a shit, alright? Don't care, alright? But if you have a cigarette smoker come in and tell a teenager about what the shit really is and about what the real dangers are of smoking cigarettes in the short term, which is all that young people really think about is the short term, you will see a marked decrease in nicotine addiction. Just as if you educate people properly about each drug individually, because they're all different, you will see a marked decrease in drug use. Alright? If you teach children, which they do, that marijuana and meth and heroin and cocaine and all that shit are all equally dangerous, alright, the kid is going to smoke the marijuana, is going to find out that it is not dangerous at all, besides the legal ramifications and maybe some slight issues with getting your homework done. They're going to say, wow, the government's lying to me about this, they must be lying to me about everything. And in reality they really aren't, because these drugs are dangerous. But can you not see the pattern? Alright? And the thing is that people don't. Now, there are several reasons. First of all, there's the quote, moral majority. I don't know what the hell this was. The moral majority. Who just wants to get into everybody's fucking personal business. They want to worry about who's fucking what orifice. They want to worry about who's putting what in their bodies. Shit like that. They want to worry about who's paying who for sex. Non-violent crimes that have no effect on anyone except for the people that are actually involved in it. These people incorporate part of the problem, but the larger problem is the profit motive behind keeping the drugs illegal. There's a huge profit motive for the drug dealers, the drug gangs, the drug cartels, organized crime, mafia, Colombian mafias, you know, Oriental mafia, shit like that. There's a huge profit motive for them. And there's a huge profit motive for not only government officials who are willing to take illegal money, which, don't fucking kid yourself, there's plenty of them. How the hell do you think this cocaine and this heroin are getting into the fucking country? You know, even after 9/11 with all the extra control, there hasn't been a decrease in the amount of cocaine or heroin coming into the country. What does that tell you? So there's the people taking illegal money, and there's also the people taking the very legal money that comes with fighting the drug war. You have your huge corporations that run the prisons, and you have your people like your Mr. John P. who, you know, I'm sure John P. Walters doesn't want to lose his fucking job. I'm sure that the probation officers don't want to lose their jobs. I'm sure that the police officers don't want to go out and fight real crime where they might put themselves in danger. They'd rather go arrest teenagers who are not threatening anyone. They want to make their lives easier. That's the main issue. And they lie to people, and people who have no real experience with anything don't know the difference between what's true and what isn't. You know, this week they announced that they're increasing the tax on cigarettes, federally, the federal tax, by 61 cents a pack, which is going to put cigarettes in my state over $6, and in some other states where it's way more expensive, way over that. I'm thinking, well, you know, okay, that's your prerogative. Why don't you tax alcohol too? But they won't do that. But you know, what if you tax marijuana? You know, you can fucking do that. I don't understand who in America still believes that marijuana is dangerous. Who are these people? Please point them out to me so that I can fucking say something to them. They shoot out all these bogus fucking statements, you know. Marijuana abuse is the #1 reason for admittance into drug control programs. Yeah, you're right, John P. Walters. You're absolutely fucking right. Want to know why that is? Because marijuana is the most common drug to have somebody arrested for, and then the court forces them into drug control programs. That doesn't mean that the people need fucking help. It means that they're being forced into getting help. That's not the same thing. But people love statistics and they love numbers. So they have to fuck with the numbers, alright? I don't know. This is just another one of these relentlessly stupid things that we do in this country that really, really pisses me off. The shit literally keeps me up at night. I cannot believe that people are this fucking dumb. You know, we got kids who are good students who, besides their marijuana use or their other drug use, are completely law-abiding individuals, never hurt anybody, don't drive while high, you know, all this shit, and they're being sent through the court system. You know, they're getting their money taken away. They can't, you know, they need to go to college. Maybe they're not able to get into the military now or some shit like that. Whatever it was that they're doing, you're fucking up their whole life. And for what? Why? Who are you protecting? You're protecting no one. The drug war does not help anyone that you want to help. The only people that the drug war helps is drug dealers, drug cartels, corrupt government officials, corrupt police officers, and corporations who run prisons. These are the only people that benefit from the drug war, alright? You, at home, whoever you are, wherever you are not benefiting from the drug war. You are hurting from the drug war. You're either hurting, actually physically hurting from the effects of frivolous court shit, or, you know, somebody getting killed by a drug gang, or you're hurting in your pocketbook, having to pay taxes for a program that doesn't help anyone. This is a very major problem in this country. It needs to be talked about more, so I'm doing it. Whatever. The point is, think about this shit. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Find the information yourself. Fucking watch Napalm 2's video that this is going to be a response to. Subscribe to that man. I wouldn't recommend you all become anarchists, but his social ideas are, I believe, quite right. So, I don't know. That's fucking that. So, the next couple of videos are going to be based on some of the topics that people sent me. So, all right, see ya.